and find something you're passionate about besides Ziggy.
Hey guys, so I just had to come live because somebody made me aware of something that, and I don't know if it's been on YouTube. It probably already has. I don't know. But either way, I'm putting it out there and we're going to talk about it because something weird's going on. I mean, we already know that and we've already talked about that, but even more things have happened now to show that there is something strange going on with Brandon Lawson's arrest or detainment. I don't know if it's been put out there yet. I haven't even looked. Hey, Angel talks too fast. Did you see this? I don't know. I haven't looked. Somebody just let me know, and I'm like, okay, let's go live. And I'm sure it's already been out there. I don't know. This magically changed to in custody today, guys. The Tennessee Department of Correction one has now changed to in custody. Then we got this record down here, different ID number. Starts at 104. But we know it's him because there's his picture, right? Up here, ID number is 0064 blank. But this is the Tennessee Department of Correction number. So that would be your that's given to you when you get a felony in the state of Tennessee. This ID number is from Grainger County. I am pretty sure Brandon's birthday is 8/8. If he's out on probation, people definitely need to be, there needs to, I don't know. They're getting very bold because looky here. So now we go into, okay, we know this one's him. We go into this and it has, you can click the picture, see it's him, age 43, male, white, birthday, August, blank, blank. Okay. Shows him in custody at Grainger County since October 13th. Okay, so when we go back and go to this record right here, date of birth, August, blank, blank, white, 43 male, no picture, okay? Conveniently no picture. In custody date magically has changed to November 9th now. Now he's back in custody at the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Now it says probation. Has anybody talked to Bruce Rudis? Then, how do we know this one's him? They've actually made it easy for us now. We have charge details right here. They're all labeled right here. So now we know this is Brandon. Thanks, guys. thanks for letting us know for sure that something shady is definitely going on, because now we have the charge details right here. On somebody, now we're supposed to say, oh, that's a different person. Is it a different person? Well, they have the same exact charges as Brandon Lawson and happen to be born in August and happen to be 43, a male and white. Just so happen to go into the Tennessee Department of Corrections or be put into on the October 14th, which is the day after his court date, which says probation. So you're telling me he got out a day after? Didn't even spend one day in the jail. So, but now you're going to put, oh, automatically November 9th. He just, are we putting this in here so people stop asking, why is he out of jail? You guys are about to get, somebody's going to be getting in trouble for this shit, because this is not copacetic. You need a screen grab from when you showed what they had posted the other night, shown by side by side. I know. And look, it shows the charges right there. What screen grab are you saying? What the record looked like before a CT? The record looked like the same before. However, it showed out of custody and it didn't have these charges attached to it. Now they've got so like, I mean, they're basically laughing in our faces. That's how I look at it. Because now they're seriously treating us like we're stupid. You're going to attach these charges to FineLink, which they get their information from Tennessee Department of Corrections website and the county websites. That's where they get these. So this information, I'm sure, is on Tennessee Department of Corrections now, because otherwise this wouldn't have been here. I mean, I'll look in here in a second just to make sure, but we have 4 counts of attempted aggravated sexual battery on this account now that was not there. And you're going to tell us that's a different person? That's what the sheriff at Grainger County was telling us. They were telling us, oh, this is a different Brandon Lewis Lawson, who's 43, male and white. Just so you know, look, if you go to his record details here, why does it say October 29th, status date from October 29th, in custody? What the hell? Book date, October 13th. Custody status date, October 29th, 2022. In custody. October 29th. Here, I'm going to maybe I could take a screen grab and put them next to each other. See, this is October 14th, the day after his court date. November 9th. This shows me he's out. If he's staying at Ronnie Lawson's house, I'm going to have a bitch fit, a BF. Seriously, because I've already heard. All right, I better be quiet about that. Just heard some rumors. Just heard some rumors already before all this about some pretty unprofessional and unethical behavior of a sheriff to be doing, and also other people in positions of trust and power. There's certain things as that you have a code of ethics and code of conduct that you go by when you're in these positions, and that you agree to and you vow to uphold. That doesn't mean that you're going to, that you get to give special treatment to your son, or, you know, you get to cover up his crimes. Sounds like accessory. This sounds like some kind of crime to me, honestly. This feels like really a crime, like a serious crime. Let me pull up my chat on my phone so I can see you guys when I'm not on the. Hey, chemistry base. Yeah, he probably never was in jail. That would be a very strange coincidence for somebody of the same name, age, area, and time. Yeah, okay, so see right here on this record that has, it's the Tennessee Department of Corrections at 10:53 Central Time. So that would have been about noon, right? Eastern Time? Correct? Today, so about 4 hours ago or so. 4 hours ago, Brandon Lawson was listed as in custody at the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Then it says probation active. How can, what? Let's see if anybody else says that they're in custody of Tennessee Department of Corrections and on probation at the same time. Is that something normal? Find it weird. Nobody else's like record changes so much. It always stays the same until they're out. How come Brandon Lawson seems to change? Like, oh, it's just a coincidence. Just so happens, like, please. This stuff fires me up. It's so not okay, because this, and the reason why it's not, we're not like, I mean, besides the obvious, I mean, it's not okay because there's victims out there and stuff. But if you play out the tape and think about what kind of impact that letting something like this go unpunished and letting it go on, I mean, just think of the future consequences, like the future victims, the future, his kid, you know, the future generations of behavior that is continued to be passed on. You know, Hawkins County is already northeastern Tennessee. Hawkins County is already plagued with just, they don't have very many opportunities there. It seems to be a lot of corruption. And letting something like this go on, it just makes it even more difficult to unravel. I mean, it's already so ingrained in their lifestyle out there that it's going to take, I mean, it's not going to be corrected overnight, but something has to be done. Hey, Roswell. Yeah, I think Ronnie, it would be best for him to step down, but it kind of pisses me off, though, to think of that, because like that's the easy way out. If he just gets to step down, like his son gets, I mean, because he's like, what, 66 now? already at retirement age anyways. He should step down with no freaking retirement benefits. Sorry. Not from the department anyways. I think that, no, this is not, you don't get rewarded for behavior like this. Nobody else in the world would. Concerned citizen. Here, I guess I better cover this for a second. I don't even know it's already out there. It's not a big deal, but I'm not going to put my real address anyways. You're ballsy, right? Just absolutely like laughing at us in our face. That's how I look at it. Public, I think people should be outraged. Sorry, I'm have to put in this PIN number and stuff to register for this. I'm glad. I hope that, I'm sure that people, like, if you haven't been watching, like, let's see, a couple people that I could think off the top of my head that had been covering this, like, that were doing a really good job. And I know they were because it was matching up with, like, I mean, I put in so many hours of research on this. So I know that Angel Talks Too Fast is right on. Like, she's definitely doing her homework and knows what she's talking about. And she also, I believe, has some education in law, I think. So she's a good source. And also, I like Smiley's story because she's actually doing the, and so actually Benny and Penny did too, or Fizzle did too, make some calls. But you guys should follow them because they're calling these people, doing things that I myself would never have the balls to do because I'm a wuss like that. I mean, I'll talk to people, but I don't know. I'm not good at putting on the pressure. I never got my text message for notifications for this thing. But what are the possibilities that there's a very big Klan presence in Hawkins County, including some? Oh, the chances of that is so great that, yes. I would, and the reason, okay, allegedly, I'm going to say this. This is my opinion only to what Chase has said here. Yes, I do truly believe there is a strong Klan presence there because, and as much as I liked Fred Hill and his wife and stuff, I kind of wondered about them, about possibly that. Obviously, if I saw real horrible behavior, I just had a feeling that possibly, now they didn't show any racism in front of me, but they were making excuses for, well, that's not true. They were saying the N-word, but they weren't saying it towards Black people. It was, how that goes sometimes. Yeah. Anyways, they were making excuses for KKK, like as far as how they're good people, they do good things for the community. And it seems like to me that there is possibly is some type of, not just that, I don't know. I feel like there is definitely a connection with a lot of these people in the KKK. And it's very possible, definitely possible with the Masons because, and I know it sounds like crazy, and now I looked at all the board members of the Masons, like that were public on East Tennessee Mason website, I think it was, or something like that. It was an official website. But there is some chapters or some of these organizations that do not put their members on the website. And so I didn't recognize any names from the ones that were public, like not offhand. There was a couple names I was like, possibly it could be somebody related to all this. But the counties that I really wanted to know were blank. I couldn't see, or the chapters that I wanted to know who the members were. Like, it wasn't public. Plus, you can also look on Facebook for the members and stuff. And that's how I know, by the way, Cher, sorry to even go there, but Cher, you are, oh my gosh. It just reminded me how she took that off that. She went on Facebook, okay, and took a picture of this guy from a Mason's like chapter. I don't know if it's even called chapter. It took his picture and clipped it and told everybody that was George Bernard or Andy. His real name's George, but it goes by Andy. When you do a reverse, when people finally did a reverse on it, they saw where the picture went back, and it clearly says the guy's name. Cher, you should be ashamed, and that's just like, I don't understand that. I don't get why put out. Well, no, I guess I do get it. It's all a money thing. It's all a money thing. It's freaking, that's, you guys, money you can't take with you. As we have witnessed, somebody very close to me, probably one of the closest people to me, passed away a week ago, and he was very materialistic. Okay. And it's just, he was very materialistic, but also at the same time, he's very generous. So, but you can't, that stuff is so not important. I don't know. I just got an email that he's out on probation. I know. We've already been talking about it. Yeah, see, somebody got this text. Thank you, Karen, for sending this to me. This is just more proof of what people are getting. This just comes straight from VineLink, which makes sense. This is exactly what I was just showing you guys. So they can try to say it's a different person, but that's a complete lie. And they keep digging themselves deeper into this freaking hole. And they might as well give up the freaking game, because it's all, this is all. I hope that people do not give up. Now, look, it's going to say that these agencies are offline. It says Hawkins County, okay? So they'll probably say something like that. Oh, it's offline and it was messed up. They'll have some kind of excuse. So but now we have it as a record on here to see. These are the same two people. Why do we have one person in the system twice like this? I don't see anybody else's. I look up people every freaking, not every day, that's an exaggeration, but several times a week. And I have never seen somebody have two freaking records like this. This is not normal. This is not normal. You don't have Now you could have one in the Department of Corrections that said from a long time ago, and that shows, you know, out of custody, and maybe one in a county, you know, as in custody. But you don't have, no, this is not, it's a contradiction. You can't be in custody at Grainger County and also in custody at the Tennessee Department of Corrections, well, which is usually means prison, has the same birthday. His birthday is 8/8. I'm telling you, 8/8, 70. His birthday is 8/8, 79. Yeah, it's 2 years older than me. No, this one's him. This is definitely him. These are both him. I'm telling you. There's a Brandon Wayne Lawson up here. That's not him. That's a different person. These two are both him. I don't care what they say. Now they have made it so obvious. Look, the picture. Here's his picture. We know that's his. We go to this record details. Look, you go down to the charge details, and it literally says 4 charges of attempted aggravated sexual battery. And they're going to tell me that this is a different person? Oh, they just so happen to have the same charges, and both have birthdays in August, both be 43, male and white, and both have middle name Lewis. They did some tricky stuff here. Want to do a different county, Johnson City. What county is Johnson City? It does seem like a game to me. Now it's just like, okay, like they are so confident. It does feel like that. It's almost like they're messing with people now or something. See if Sherfy is the same way. Okay, how do you Sherfy? It was Don, right? Sherfy? How do you spell it? Is it SHERFY or EY? Sherfy. Sherfy. Hold on. It's EY, I think. He has one in custody at the Tennessee Department of Corrections, Attorney Center Industrial Complex. Ew. Hide that. Donald Wayne Sherfy. Look, ID number 0064. So it looks like all Tennessee Department of Corrections ones start with, well, probably not all, but in Washington, Carter, and Sullivan counties in the U.S. state of Tennessee, mostly in Washington County. Right, Raybird? That's what doesn't make, I know, I said the same thing. Sherfy got possession of the pictures. Now it's all bad. Like, why do you want sexual pictures of kids? That's freaking weird, and you're creepy, you know? Like, if I found myself ever, oh my gosh, no, I wouldn't. I would off myself. Sorry for even saying that, but no way. Ew. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not saying that people don't have a right to live or and stuff, but if you can't keep from hurting children, I think it's best just to, yeah. Why ruin other people's lives, like several other kids' lives, when you could just like get rid of yourself? Sorry, I have a strong feeling towards child predators. I think it's absolutely just gross and horrible, and especially ones that, well, all of them are horrible, but ones that are, I'm looking at it. Only shows one in custody at Grainger County. DOC isn't active. Tennessee felony offender search has Lawson listed as incarcerated. Yeah, see, this says incarcerated too for Lawson, but also at the same time says that he's on probation. Well, how come right here this one doesn't? This Sherfies doesn't say that he's on parole and in custody at the same time, or on probation and in custody at the same time. It has his scheduled release. Where's Brandon Lawson's scheduled release? Of course, this is a charge details. 4 counts of aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor. And then the 5th charge is sexual exploitation of a minor. 0 out of 100 images. Wait, what? Yeah, basically you're a weirdo. Should just probably not even exist. And I know I'm going to get shit from people for saying that, but I remember one time I said something about Don Wells, like that he should off himself instead of like, I wish that something about like offing himself before hurting another child or something. Oh my gosh, people went freaking crazy. Whatever they can to just, yeah, Brandon only got one. Were Lawson's victims adults? No. They are still minors, as far as I know. Not for long, but at the time, you got to remember these crimes are said to have started 4 years ago. I would guess that it was probably before 4 years ago. Probably, especially on the one that was done, multiple times that he had unlimited access to. I would bet money almost that this started happening before the age of 14, like we're told. The reason why they chose 14 and agreed on that, I believe, is because if you say an age younger than that, it's a higher penalty. Just on why they agreed on a certain number of times and all this. All this was all planned, guys. I promise you, you guys, I'm telling you, all this stuff was planned as far as like how many times. It was not 4 times total. And the fact is, like, a lot of times people get charged with, like, they'll get charged with, let's say they had 100 pictures, they'll get 100 charges of CP or whatever, possession. And a lot of times they'll lower it, but he wasn't even charged with all the right number of accounts. He got a special deal and got to come up to an agreement and got something nobody else in the world gets besides, you know, those who do it unlawfully. This was not a transparent, like, process. It's not, yeah, it's not what America is built on. We're supposed to be built on, like, I feel like integrity and honor, and, you know, this to me doesn't, it shows, it just looks as like corruption and just, I don't know how even else to say it. Many times the children are unable to give the dates. Right. Shervy's got dropped down, and that's normal. It's normal for them to get dropped down. However, it's normal, especially on a first charge or first time. But my guess is Brandon's probably had many run-ins with the law, but somehow got weaseled his way out of them. If he was any other person, my guess he'd probably be in prison for the next 25 years. Because, for one, he would have already had other charges on his record because, you know, we heard about this boat accident where some say, oh, it was him and his friend. Rumors of Brandon being, 3 or 4 times the legal limit, allegedly. Rumors of them both being intoxicated. So no matter who was driving, it was only 2 of them. Somehow and besides that too, we hear that Brandon was caught with drugs by his uncle, right? His uncle, or no, his cousin? Be his cousin. Because Gary is, from the narcotics department, is Ronnie's nephew, actually. Because Ronnie's brother, Gary, passed away earlier this year, in July or so. And I get him confused. Sometimes I think Gary, the one that's in narcotics department, is his brother, but it's not. They made his crime match a less severe crime, so his punishment would match his crime. They suck at this. Yeah, exactly, which is another obvious. I mean, maybe somebody like, if Angel talks too fast, or somebody else who we need, where's all our law experts, like, as far as where is our lawyers and our people with law degrees, or that can, I need to try to contact somebody who could talk to us about this. Somebody who can prove that their credentials, and then talk to us about how normal it would be. First of all, there's so many things I would want to ask, but I really, really, really want to have an expert on. It would be preferably somebody from, with education in Tennessee. But anyways, Doesn't have to be. I would love to ask these attempted aggravated sexual batteries. I want to ask you about that because I know people keep thinking, oh, it got dropped down to attempted. That's why it's the lesser charge. It's, you know, I still stand with the belief that you cannot drop an aggravated sexual battery down to an attempted aggravated sexual battery. Attempted aggravated sexual battery is not a lesser charge of aggravated sexual battery. They're two completely different crimes. Attempted means you attempted it. You didn't actually do it. But this asshole, he really did do it several times. It's not attempted. A lesser charge does not mean you get to, well, since you're a first-time criminal, we'll just, instead of giving you charges of rape, we'll just lower it down to a misdemeanor theft. That's basically, like, that's what they're basically doing here. I know it doesn't seem like that because it has the same wording, but attempted is not a lesser charge of aggravated sexual battery, and people should be outraged. You can't do that. I am pretty sure, and I would love to have an expert on to talk about this. You can lower a DUI, like a felony DUI, to a misdemeanor DUI, felony theft to a misdemeanor theft, stuff like that. But the actual, when you look up the law and the code, it still has to, attempted aggravated sexual battery still has to, like, their charges of what they're convicted of has to make sense for the crime. Like, it has to still be basically what they did. That's not what he did. He actually did it. This is showing people he attempted. No, people need to know he didn't attempt shit. He actually did it. And that's why this is so dangerous, because this is letting public know that, oh, well, he just attempted, which is just as bad. Hey, Sue Marie, down under. Yeah, go protest this shit. There should be a hella stink up there, and I live in Tennessee. I'm gonna kick it off if this is true. Right? I mean, they're gonna try to say that this is how come these mess ups and screw ups keep happening just to Brandon Lawson's record? I mean, we're not dumb here. There's a lot of very intelligent people and who do some amazing research that have college degrees or have just, you don't even have to have a college degree. I mean, there's some genius people who you don't need a degree these days anyways. But there's some people that really put in their homework, and they research everything and look up people all the time. And we know this is not normal. Don't freaking lie to us and tell us this is normal, because it's not. It is an insult to my intelligence and to everybody's intelligence when they keep telling you guys, or whoever calls them, that, oh, it's a mix-up, or that's somebody else, or, just come on. They're digging a deeper hole. Like, this is just gonna, I don't know how they think they're gonna get away with this. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll keep getting away with it like they have for who knows how many years. Split confinement. Hey, Mama 2, Danny, Bama fan and Southern Pride. Well, I get really passionate about this stuff, and because it's not right. It's just not, and I know it doesn't directly affect, well, I feel it does affect everybody. I think everybody, no matter where you live, should be outraged, because this is stuff that's, if it's happening in Hawkins County, it's happening in other areas too. Hawkins County is not just like some anomaly, you know what I mean? Anomaly, even though it seems like a different world in some areas there, but there's places like that in other states. It's not just Tennessee. Some areas of Hawkins County and Sullivan County are really nice. I mean, you have the state park area, and you have Kingsport is a nice area. Hey, Marlena. Right. Now we know why everyone it has the same name. Why even give a 20-year sentence when they know they're not going to make it applicable to him? It seems redundant and makes their court system look sus. Yep. Wow. Okay, here's Moonshine Girl. She always has something. You guys who don't know anyone from Hawkins County sure act like you know us all. Ziggy, have you asked your friend Michelle what's up with Brandon Lawson? Lawson, she might she's really, just like many people, not really wanting to get, I think she's afraid to talk, because if she were to talk, like, they would know it was from her, because she's just worried. There's a lot of people who are scared, you know, so I have talked to her, but not, she's obviously shocked. She's very shocked. She was completely shocked like anybody else when these charges came out, had no idea. And yeah, a lot of people who are very close to Ronnie feel very, from what I hear and have witnessed, feel very hoodwinked, like just completely taken off guard. I mean, he didn't even, from what I hear, he didn't even warn his employees, like people who work in the, who answer the phones and stuff and have to deal with this. From what I hear, he did not even warn people. He just is so fucking innate, just so, it's sickening, entitled, that he just feels like it's everybody's job who works around him to clean this mess up for him. And I feel like Ronnie Lawson is thinking, well, if it doesn't work out, oh well, I'm at retirement age anyways. I'll just resign. Because Ronnie knows what happens to people, to kids like his son. I say kids, but he's actually older than me, but Ronnie knows what happens to boys like Brandon Lewis Lawson, his son, in jail. That's why there was all this arrangements. And Ronnie, once somebody has proof that you have Brandon shacked up at your house, shit's gonna hit the fan. Seriously. I would bet money that he has Brandon at his house, or has him at like a really close relative, like a really close relative's house, really close, like maybe somebody somebody he works with. Somebody told me they went by his house it was around, I think, Halloween time, or when was it? It was around Halloween. It's about a week ago. They said that there was a white transport van in Ronnie's driveway. Could mean nothing. I mean, or it could mean somebody was transported. Oh yeah, Summer's disappearance is all related to this. Allegedly, and I say allegedly just to protect myself, because this is really, you have to be careful, because these people, you have to make sure that people know, hey, this is my opinion. I don't know this to be 100% fact. Because don't think like these people, they would sue the hell out of you. So just protect yourself. Make sure you are saying allegedly, or, and plus it's important for people to look into things themselves anyways, and not just take some YouTubers with no, background or education in it. And law enforcement, it's always good to look this stuff up yourself anyways and come up with your own opinion. But my opinion is, Ronnie Lawson, Dan Armstrong, those are like, okay, the main culprits: Dan Armstrong, Ronnie Lawson, Jim Sells, Roger Stewart and company, so his sons and anybody attached to his business. Possibly Newton. What's his name? Newt from the Rogersville Police Department. He had some weird ties going on. I wish that one guy, that one officer, Officer Hammonds, would get back to me. Man, it would be awesome to talk to him. But he's the one you could look up on YouTube, him speaking out against and talking about how he lost his job from the police department because of Roger Stewart. Because Roger Stewart was accusing him of having an affair with his wife. Roger Stewart, by the way, is a well-known businessman and shady businessman. I think it seems to allegedly look like he is known for shady business dealings, him and his brothers and sons. But he is very powerful in that area because he just has done a lot of business dealings with, he just knows everybody. Anyways, money talks, bullshit walks, right? Money talks for many, I would say a majority of people are going to choose money over their integrity, probably at least 50%, which is sad. Probably over 50%. Because ever since I started YouTube, it's very easy for me to see, it's so much more noticeable how greedy people are. Okay, so I said Jim Sells, Newton, Ronnie Lawson, Dan Armstrong for sure. Cecil, I said, I still am on the fence about Cecil. Something about him makes me feel kind of bad for him. I don't know why. Just my intuition is telling me it's just my intuition. And from what I've heard from the guy, I just get the feeling that he just, I don't know. He obviously got involved in something that he shouldn't have, but I feel like he was somehow pressured, or, I mean, these people have been, think about the pressure you would have as like, I mean, how about the judge who signed this, approved this order for Brandon to do a year, only 30% of it in a jail? Judge Carter Moore, younger than me, I think. He's like 40 years old. We all know it takes like a really long time to get the education and it takes a while to become a judge. Like, you don't get to be a judge at 25 years old. Usually, that's why you always see older judges. Like, but this judge is really young. Obviously a new judge. Can't have been a judge longer than 5 years. And then surrounded by all these like important people of Eastern Tennessee who everybody knows their name and trusts and looks up to. You got Cecil Mills in his 60s, ran for district attorney, now basically Dan Armstrong's right-hand man. They claim they're one of the same. They're both, if you talk to Cecil Mills, you're talking to Dan Armstrong, and vice versa, according to Dan Armstrong. So Dan Armstrong's in his 60s, probably, and so is Cecil, I'm guessing, and Ronnie is 66. Then you got this judge. I'm not making excuses for him, but I think they really screwed things up for this judge. They probably, I don't know. If this stuff blows up, that judge is probably going to, his career is probably going to be ruined. A young judge just starting out his career. I learned in my criminal investigation class in college that sex offenders on average have offended like 280 times or something before getting caught and charged for one of them. Yeah, you have to earn a spot as a judge, right? I would think that judges are elected officials. Yeah, it is. He is an elected official. I remember looking up and seeing he was just running for judge. Moore was like, and I found no connection to Carter Moore and these guys, like as far as any strong connections. Like, I haven't found any like pictures of, I mean, just because there's a picture of them doesn't mean anything. I know people have found pictures and stuff, but of certain law enforcement individuals together, or not just law enforcement, but people from the court systems and stuff, that I don't think these people are always a lot of times at the same events and stuff like that. So I don't put too much weight in that, but I'm finding like a lot of strong connections, like not just these people. I don't know. There has to be at least like, gosh, Ronnie Lawson. Think of all the people that would have to be in on this. Like, what is worth it to them? What is worth it to them to ruin their, something has made it worth it to these people. What are they hiding? What are they hiding so desperately? There has to be something that they're all covering for each other, that if uncovered, it would just like ruin all of them. Or the only other option would be like well, I guess there could be 3 options. Either they're covering up something that is so big and horrible that if uncovered, it would just ruin their lives, several people's lives, and ruin their reputations. They probably go to prison. And so they're desperately, they're willing to go to extremes to cover up things. But see, to me, doing this has made it like giving him such a light sentence and trying to, for some reason, protect Brandon Lawson during the short time stay he has at jail. It's made it more noticeable. So it's hard for me to believe they're trying to cover up for something, but that would make sense because I feel like there is some type of ring all involved in this trafficking, all involved in Summer and Carly Trent. They're all related, allegedly. They're all surrounding the same people. I'm telling you, I truly believe Summer Wells case and Carly Trent case are related. And hopefully, this is the beginning of the end of this cycle. I don't know. I don't even know what to do. I guess we should write. I don't know. I'm not one to really just contact people. Like I have, that weird anxiety. Like I don't like to call people, like just randomly call people. I don't even like to order food on the phone. Sometimes I'll avoid even ordering from a certain place if I have to call them. I know it's so strange. But anyways, I guess I could I'm pretty good at writing. Maybe I can write something like that looks like really professional. And maybe, I don't know, it probably just get thrown in the trash though. And I don't know. We should all probably do that. We'd have to go above the counties. It would have to be at the lowest level that we're contacting a state, because that corruption out there is so ingrained. You can't contact somebody from Hawkins County they're all working together. This is going to take interference from an outside agency. That's the whole point. That's how these things are there's supposed to be accountability. This type of stuff is supposed to be prevented. There is, laws and rules or whatever regulations in place to avoid, this type of stuff from being able to happen. That's why, hold on. Let's turn on a light. I don't know. I think that they should, first of all, my opinion, they need to limit the amount of terms that, I don't know. Can a sheriff just go, from what it looks like, they can just keep being elected. I think that there needs to be a limit on how many terms somebody can be elected in all of these positions, because what's happening is nobody is willing to go up against them. They feel like it's pointless. Should you rewind? Scott H, let me just show you real quick. Like, I'll just re-show it real quick so that people don't have to rewind, because this is the main thing about this video. And it might be something you already know, because it might be something that was already talked about somewhere else, but somebody messaged me about this. And I know we've already talked about these. There's something new as of today. So we have these two records that has been discussed. We here, if you go to this one, shows Brandon Lewis Lawson, a 43-year-old male, white. And here's his picture. So we know this one's his. Birthday, August, blank, blank. ID number starts with 104. Non-Hispanic. Custody status date as of October 29th. In custody in the Grainger County Detention Center or facility. He was booked in October 13, 2022. Notice how it says 10:43 a.m. Eastern. Hold on. Where's my pen? That's also the time I believe that they, hold on, let me write that down. Might be nothing. I might be just tripping. Okay. So we know this one's his. Okay. So, and it doesn't have the charges listed or anything like that. Then when we go back, we go down to this other record right here. Brandon Lewis Lawson, age 43, male, white, no pictures, date of birth, of course, August. ID number is different. So this is but I believe a Tennessee Department of Correction number, and the other number is like a jail county number. But look, November 9th, 10:53. Okay, that's just 10:53, not 10:43. 10:53 Central Time today. So, like I was saying, that would be about, what, noon Eastern? It shows that him in custody at the Tennessee Department of Corrections, or this guy, who they're claiming is somebody different. It's not Brandon Lawson. It's not him. Shows active probation on the 9th also at 11:09 a.m. Central Time. So once again, around noon, October 14th, begin date. But looky here. Look what they did for us. They put the charges here. Now we have the charges. Oh, it shows attempted aggravate. But I thought this was a different guy. Oh, he just so happens to have the same charges as Brandon. Is that it? So now we have the charges listed on this other. It's like somebody did this on purpose. I wonder if somebody did this on purpose to try to expose, like, these people. They're probably tired of getting calls. It's like, I'm just gonna, I don't know. These charges right here were not listed here before. No, the probation officer has always showed that guy. It's always showed this Bruce Rudis. So now this record that they're saying was a different person has now changed, and it says people have got, notifications and texts that showed that he was put on probation today. But how are they going to get out of saying this is not the Brandon Lawson we all know and hate, know and dislike? Class action. I'm good at I know how to do all those paperworks. Like I could, or filing. Yeah, he in most states now, or in most facilities now, that you have to be added to their list for them to be able to. So first, you have to. The inmate has to add you to the list and approve you to visit them. It used to be you could go visit whoever you wanted, even if they didn't. Like, you could just sign your name, show up and sign your name to. Now at the jails, you could just sign your name as long as you were on probation or anything, and you could visit whoever you want. And sometimes they'd be brought down and they'd see who's visiting them, and they'd just be like, "Oh, I want to go back up to my cell or whatever." But yeah, they've changed it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to try to weasel their way out of it, but I'm sure they're going to somehow. I want to know though how he can be in all these places at once. Also, okay, so let's go to the Tennessee Department of Corrections. I think that's the website. I could have pulled up the wrong one. So now when we pull it up, let's look what it says here on this website. See, 8879. See, I knew his birthday was 8879. Now this says Grainger County Jail. Since date, October 13, 2022. Oh, look, we've got the charges here now that weren't there before. What the hell? What's that even mean? Why does this say, I'm confused. Why does this say, what's split confinement mean? Look, split confinement. What the hell's that mean? Probation, probation, probation. What the? Look at this sentence effective date. Why is that labeled 10/13/2028 for the sentence effective date? And this one's 10/13/2033. And then this one's 10/13/2038. These are 5 years apart. 5 years apart. Oh, is it? Okay. Wait. Let's see what you guys are saying. Well, yeah, it has to do with consecutive and concurrent, but split confinement. Split confinement is a combination to be partially served in custody with a balance of community supervision. Contact the local jail administrator for custody release information or split confinements. Why is his release eligibility date not here. Like, see, Tennessee Department of Corrections number 00645219. Here, let's I'm gonna screenshot this because this is something they since things are just magically changing around these parts, we might just want to start screenshotting things so they can't tell us that we were just seeing things, you know? Okay. Let's see here. What other information people have put out about Brandon that I've missed since. So
Jonathan Lee Richards investigates. I got breaking news, everyone. Brandon Lawson, the son of Ronnie Lawson, has just paroled out of jail. He paroled out of jail today.
Jonathan Lee Richards investigates. I got breaking news, everyone. Brandon Lawson, the son of Ronnie Lawson, has just paroled out of jail. He paroled out of jail today. There is alerts going off on people's phones in the Tennessee area. He is now under the supervision of Johnson City Probation and Parole. He got out. I don't know why he got out so quickly. He was serving a 20-year sentence with 19 years suspended, had to serve a year, but he is officially paroled out according to alerts right now. What is your thoughts on that? What is your thoughts on Brandon Lawson, the son of Sheriff?
James Harville, he's probably also, I mean, he would have to be in on it, right? Has Smiley called anybody recently? What is this? Quentin Simon grandfather killed Quentin Simon. Huh? Quentin Simon's grandfather killed and hit and run on Georgia Highway. Wow. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay, let me, sorry guys. Yeah, these are mostly not. So has anybody heard from Don Wells yet? Let's see this real quick. I have to go get a drink. Oh, that's so pretty. This is Nana's Angels. I just need something to play while I get up for a second. Well, no, I mean, what ALR is saying is true. That, I mean, as far as what the site says, but, you know, I know Hawkins County are going to say, oh, that was a mistake. I mean, I don't think he can really say, oh, he's out. JLR sometimes like gets a little bit ahead of himself, but I mean, you would think, I mean, if the site is telling you he's out, I mean, you would think he was out. But, you know, the other listing or whatever it is shows him in custody. So they're totally, I mean, they're purposely trying to confuse people. So this is Nana's Angels. I wish. Yes, Smiley called jail supposed to be and told her he's still there in jail. You forgot Dawn got out? Well, I've heard a rumor, but sorry, I was texting somebody because I was going to see if it was okay for me to say something that I was told. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard Dawn is going to Georgia to do drywall work for baby Quentin's grandma. I don't know how true that is. It's something I read in a chat. Oh my God. Who's that, little Boston? They're talking about Scott, or they're talking about whose live is that? Yeah, there are people, there's NA meetings and AA meetings online. But I don't know what you're speaking on, though. She has Illinois list of non-detainable offenses starting. Wow. Key. Oh. Are you saying Benny? Oh, gosh. I don't want to. get involved in all that. Sounds like. So this is Nana. Let's see here. Started here with a summer.
He wants to ask somebody to come in, i.e. the TBI or FBI, when he decides. No other agencies are involved in Summer's case. And I just do not get that. Why can't we have the Secret Service or the U.S. Marshal Service or FBI full time on Summer's case? I mean, where's Summer's heroes at? So, by chance, if there's any of those agents from any of those agencies listening out there, why don't you start poking around into this case and finding out what's going on in Hawkins County for real? Two, I would like to know, on Don B's live stream yesterday, I posed a question in the chat, and I didn't word the question correctly. Okay, then 45 minutes of Summer being reported missing, the phone call at 6:29 p.m. on June the 15th, 2021. Within 45 minutes, TBI was on the scene. Within the next 16 hours, which is how much time it was before the Amber Alert was put out. It was 16 hours later that Amber Alert was issued. Within that time, they had 19 agencies looking for Summer. No, let me reword that. It plainly says, and Ronnie Lawson himself says, or it was Leslie Earhart one. 19 investigators were helping investigate Summer's case. Now, I could understand, and I have no problem with this, but I can understand them calling in all these different agencies from the different states and counties and stuff to come in and help search, to help coordinate, to help, interview people. I do not understand why they needed 19 agencies to investigate. What were they investigating, guys? I mean, did they need 19 different agencies to investigate what direction she might have walked off in the woods? I mean, that's what they were saying in the beginning, that she wandered off. So bring in all those agencies to troll the woods, look for her in the woods, up the road, at the neighbors. Yeah, that's great. But no, they said they were investigating. Investigating means you think something dastardly happened. And they were saying that she walked off in the woods. Okay. So if she wandered off in the woods, why did they need 19 different agents to investigate what happened? Two, the Amber Alert, like I put on my video the other day, is issued in the case where a child has been abducted. That is through the state of Tennessee. That is also through our Department of Justice. That is when they issue an Amber Alert. Okay, that's when you need the 19 investigators to come in and investigate. It infuriates me that they can't give us a straight answer. I mean, that's just like the news conference on the 1-year anniversary where Detective Derek Newport, he's the one that's supposedly at TBI that's over Summer's case, says, oh, well, it could be a walk-off, an abduction text. So you can see that they are saying no abduction still stands. They still do not believe it was an abduction. Well, if they don't believe it was an abduction, where is Summer and why is the Amber Alert still up? Amber Alerts are for abducted children. Yet they issued an abduction or an Amber Alert with no identifiable abductor or vehicle that she could have been taken in. And that's part of the Amber Alert protocol. I'm just rambling on this morning. I just wanted to try.
So that was Nana's, Nana's Angels? Yeah, Nana's Angels. I was trying to remember what exactly her channel name was called. So I just wanted to come on here for a little bit and talk about that. I'm going to probably be going live. I'm going to try something else where I go live like a couple times a day and but for lesser times, like for an hour or two, like max. And then, earlier in the day and then later in the day too. So just trying something new. And if you'd like to support me, I have the Venmo and Cashapp in the chat and super chat. I try not to, I've never mention that, but like, and it makes me really, really uncomfortable to be honest. But I have to get serious about things now, since, you know, I do not have Jim to fall back on if I get in a bind. So anyways, we're going to try that so that we can see how that does. It's like a trial and error thing. And then what else? Wonky wording. I know everybody does do it, Sue, but I don't like it. It sounds so, I don't know. I hate saying it. It just feels so uncomfortable. I don't know. People say it. People mention money and stuff like that on other channels, and it comes so like naturally and seems so normal. But I don't know. It works for some people, though. I notice like the people who mention it all the time, like, holy crap. It's like all you have to do is ask. Oh, thank you, Annabella. That's so sweet. Thank you, Tammy. Lip lock. Oh, thank you, Sugar Mama. That's so sweet. Love you guys too. Like, seriously, if it wasn't for you guys. Right. People do get paid for their job. And that's why I understand some people say things like, well, oh, get a job. Well, I do resell too. So it's not just this. I don't depend on YouTube solely. I can't. At one time, maybe I could have, like, when, but it's not, you know, you can't ever, really should never depend on YouTube completely. Even if you are making several thousand a month, which I'm not, but at one time I did pretty well for a couple months, but you can't really. But the thing is, like, you have to make money. Like, that's just how, otherwise you can't do it. Unless you just have it made where you're good. Like, you just have like a trust fund or something, money coming in, and you can spend your time doing whatever you want. And then that's different. Oh, thank you, Sleuth. How's the cats doing, Lip Lock? From Dawn, Nanny to Boys. Well, we're still waiting to. Does anybody know? I want to know if he's drinking. Sure. I mean, I would guess he is. If he came back, and I really doubt that Candace stopped drinking. And I mean, for an addict or alcoholic to go back into that type of environment, I mean, he just would stand zero chance. It would just, can you imagine living with freaking Candace, drunk off her ass every night, and trying to remain sober? Holy shit. Thank you, Raybird. I don't know the exchange rate, but I know that's pretty good. I think Canada is actually pretty similar, and that's so. Thank you so much, Raybird. So sweet. Thank you, guys. So We all need to do live one day. Rest in peace. Rip them all. Oh, rip them all. Things may have changed. I believe time has helped both of them. So sweet. Thank you, Raybird. Thank you so much. I could give a rip of, to be fair, my significant other stayed sober. Well, I was a real, that's, yeah. Hey, it can be possible, but with alcohol, like, are you talking about what kind of substance? Or you don't have to say if it's too personal. Alcohol is like especially hard because it's so easily accessible and it's accepted by society. Okay. It's like normal. And so people, it's just, I don't know, it's extra difficult. Like when it comes to other substances, it's hard, they're harder to get. Alcohol, I mean, it's pretty much, you have a unlimited supply, pretty cheap at all times. I mean, I don't know if they sell it on Sundays there in Tennessee or not. I know. What the hell? Should I have my... You were crazy. Right, little... Hey, I know what you make a good point. I was with somebody for, actually, it just reminded me, I was with somebody, so when I was like 18 or 19, like my first like real love or whatever, I was with this guy like on and off for 7 years. He's very much like Jim, as far as he just like did everything he could. I mean, but he wasn't controlling, like at all controlling or anything. Anyways, let me scroll back up here to what. Anyways, like when we first met, we, did drugs together and a lot of ecstasy together and stuff. Really, he wasn't addicted though. I was dependent on opiates to function, and he just never was at that point. But so I guess I can't use that example really, but he did quit and was sober for like a couple years of our relationship while I was still using. And that is like, oh my gosh, poor guy. Still to this day, almost 15 years later, I still like apologize for the freaking BS I put that guy through. Best guy he's a freaking great guy, but poor guy. You guys would think he was really cute too. All the girls were like, oh, he's so, you were so lucky. And I'd be like, during those times, you don't realize what you have. Okay. And you're like, oh, well, you can have them. Take them, please. That's what I would say. Then as you get older and you date others, you say, wow, I actually had it pretty good. Stepped away for a mental health vacay. That's definitely necessary sometimes. Oh, really? Jackie Dobbs has posted that he has given permission for his property to be searched again. Really, I really hope so too, Nanny. And it actually pisses me off reading that, not because of you or anything, but because it reminds me of what Cher did to me, and it just pisses me off every single time I think about it. It makes me so mad. Just so you guys, I know some of you guys are probably lost, but Cher from Voices Behind the Wall is a very, very money-driven. She likes to shock people and go with the unpopular opinion, and it just so she gets these gets money and views and attention, gets her picture on court TV or whatever happened there with there. I don't know. So I was like, when somebody said she was on court TV, I was like, there is no way anybody let Cher from Voice Behind the Wall on court TV. To just, I mean, anyways, I was on her panel, like, you remember the whole, like, when that lady Michelle came on my panel, and she was retired from Hawkins County Sheriff's, or she had worked there. I don't know if she's retired from there. I think I can't remember. Anyway, she worked there for several years. And she came on a panel and talked about something that Ronnie had said to her. And anyways, Cher decided to go on this campaign to prove it was a lie and then accuse me of all kinds of things, like being high or drunk, just absolutely ridiculous stuff. And she was like going hard. Like she was, oh my God, psycho mode. A week before that incident happened, or a week or two before that incident happened, I was on her panel. And I wanted to bring up something, but I didn't know if it was appropriate. And I was getting her opinion. So I sent her a screenshot while we were on the panel, secretively in Messenger, to ask her, I'm like, hey, do you think I can talk about this? And I sent her a screenshot. Well, I wasn't thinking the screenshot had a phone number on it, because I was like, in the middle of a live, and I wasn't thinking and didn't freaking cross out the phone number. Normal people don't fucking just call any random number they see on a screenshot. Like, that's not what normal people do. Like, but Cher does. And she tells everybody that she gives the number out when she remembers, when she gets up, she decides to go on this campaign against me. She remembers, oh, that's right. Ziggy sent me a screenshot and had a phone number on there. Then she tried to say, oh, she tried to tell everybody it's the CPS lady, and harassed this lady, calling and just like saying, we're going to get you fired, trying to figure out who she is. Just being a complete psycho, even though I sent her proof that was not the CPS lady. Anyways, eventually that lady was just like after a couple days of Cher harassing her and having other people like Lips contact her. Lips was one of them. She just never talked to me, even though she said she wasn't upset with me at all. I just, I think Cher harassed her so bad she just didn't want to deal with it anymore. It's a lot of drama. So thanks, Cher, because that was a really great source. Now she won't talk to anybody, you, me, or anybody. So congratulations. It was horrible. And it was she just went so, oh my gosh. And then this whole thing with the banner and stuff, it's so typical. So typical. So typical of Cher. Like, do we know still, has it been said who paid for the banner? Well, Cher's like putting out there acting like oh, look what Billy Joe did for me. Oh, so sweet. She wanted to do something to show appreciation. Look what she did. Okay. You're telling me, she paid for that, right? On her own. How much you want to bet it was like Cher who paid for it? Her own banner. Cher, how much you want to bet Cher had some type of knowledge of this banner beforehand and encouraged it? Think about it. All the media attention that Quentin's case is getting around that area, with all the people going down there. I mean, I would think it's obvious what she's doing. That's a guaranteed way to get your freaking channel on TV. Guaranteed way. Look how many subs that she's gone up just in the matter of like since Quentin started the case. So yeah, it works. Oh my God, Sue Marie, I would beg for that to come down. I remember when Ryan Upchurch said my name one time or said Ziggy, not my real name. And I couldn't even, I had to click out of the channel. I was like, oh, no, talk about me. No, no, not me. Even though it would bring, it'd be great, like, great publicity, great advertisement. But for something like that, a banner like in front of, no, I would be so embarrassed. Seriously, I would be so embarrassed just because, first of all, I don't like attention like that, like directly on me like that. So, and also the obvious, I mean, who wouldn't be embarrassed, like, to have their picture plastered out front of a missing child's home when Quentin's picture is not out there? That's so, I don't know who would ever, in their right minds, like, encourage that. Or if Cher did know about that in advance, I don't know why she didn't advise him against it. But, anything to make money. Cher, Billy was on your show the other night saying she was going to have to sell everything she has because she can't work because of people that would harass her. Right? Exactly, Tammy. That's exactly the point. Exactly. So you're going to tell me you have one of Cher out front. So even if Billy did pay for that, that's like, even, I don't know. It's even worse in a way. Like, you can pay for something for Cher, like her picture out there, but you can't for your own grandchild? I don't believe she paid for it anyways. I don't believe. Please quit picking on my Cher. Is he really? That's too bad. I think as far as I think it's too bad that Mark has got himself like intertwined with this. I mean, I see nothing but that whole situation just going down in a big, like, explosion. Like, I don't know that. I don't know how he puts up with that. Like, he seems like more reasonable, which I know, like, us women are emotional and stuff, but he doesn't seem like so, like I don't know, greedy. Maybe he is. Sometimes people are able to really fool you. Oh, is there a storm coming in? They're not going to find him in that landfill. I believe he's about 3 miles away from the house. Now that's my opinion. They all should be embarrassed. Come on, this is a missing baby that was put in the garbage by these disgusting humans. Yeah. Billy Joe drinks too much. Yeah, and she was on crack during her. Right, Margie? Quinn has a little picture off to the side. Yeah, allegedly, in my opinion, I should say, I feel like Billy Joe was on crack cocaine during that interview where her and her daughter are sitting there on the porch. Now, Lonnie could be on it too, but I see definite signs of Billy Joe was definitely on crack cocaine, allegedly. Because that is the signs of it. You know how we looked at, you guys had me, people wanted me to check out Cam's video, and I said I was giving like signs of what would be, I didn't see any signs. I know some, anyways, this isn't about Cam or cracking cases. I didn't feel like I was saying that the jaw, they make weird movements, like especially when not regular cocaine, but when it's smoked, for some reason, like some people get weird twitches and weird movements, like their jaw. It's weird. Sometimes that sticks with them long term, but yeah, that's a sign usually of crack cocaine. I can't think of anything else unless it's something way like, that's probably actually the more likely. And we've already heard that she had a problem with that drug, didn't we? Hey, Kraken. Ran over. Hey, Sweet Tea. Billy Joe was responsible for that baby. So, yeah. So, yeah, Cam, I just brought you up because, like what I told you that other, I think I told you one time, and it has nothing to do with Cam or cracking cases. I was just saying the only reason why I brought that up is because I talked about signs of opiate use and signs of speed use, and I was going over those. And one of the things I said about crack cocaine is it gives you twitch and have these weird movements for a lot of people. And it was just my opinion. I didn't believe that. Many people thought that, well, many people were trying to just say things about cracking cases, and I looked and I didn't feel, in my opinion, I really truly did not feel like he was under the influence. And that's just my opinion. You guys believe what you want. This isn't about cracking cases anyways. I just wanted to go over again because I don't want him to think I was talking bad about him, because I wasn't at all. And I wouldn't. And especially when it comes to something like addiction. But they definitely, to me, Billy Joe definitely was under the influence. Guarantee it. Yeah, grind their teeth. That's a big one too. Grinding teeth is like, and that is done either, no matter if you smoke it or snort it or whatever. But Kraken, Cam or Allie, I'm guessing it's Cam. They don't, yeah, that's what you're transparent. And I feel like that's the way to be. I mean, because then you put everything out there yourself. There's nothing else for anybody to put out there. Anything anybody else puts out is lies. I mean, I would assume. I know that's true with me because I put everything out there about myself bad. Like, for some reason, people were still determined. Therefore, it's died off now, but it will ramp back up. I'm sure in the future something will happen, and people will be focused on me again. I'm sure. It kind of makes its way in cycles. It will be my turn again someday. I don't feel like people need to leave Kim alone and give other people space allowance to deal with stress in a way. No, I don't feel like Billy Joe's. Are you saying she has dentures? No, that was not. Hold on, where's that interview?
Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. The news is dead and are actively searching a local landfill for his remains. Police say Leilani is the only suspect
hiding. And if something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
Chatham County Police have repeatedly
Self to that police station.
Why is she staring at her like that? Oh, wait, can you guys even see? You guys can't even see. Thank you, Carolyn. Billy Jaw. Yeah, Jenny's a good guest because she is interesting to talk to. Hey, Grace. Okay, so let me, I don't know if this is a full interview or not. Are people just walking? How are people putting things there? Are they just, I mean, because you can't walk on there. Is that just like a trick to try to trick people to come on the property? Oh, thank you, sweet D. Yeah, it's definitely been tough. Like, actually, I think, speaking of Cam, and, he too has been going through it, like, with losing people and stuff. Like, this year, 2022, has been the hardest year of that it's been a tough one for I'm not depressed that often like how I was this year. I mean, I was depressed like a majority of the year, and it just is. Yeah, Brandon info was just, I talked about it really early on, Allie. Like, I started pretty much from the beginning, like, so you don't have to, like, fast forward or rewind too much. Just go to the beginning and I show what I was talking about. Basically, there was an update on that Brandon Lawson's record. Under people were getting notifications that Brandon was released on probation today. And when you look it up, that other record that people were suspecting was Brandon looks to be actually like it is Brandon. And now it states that he's back in custody, or that list, or that listing or whatever shows him in custody. But, and then when you go to the bottom, it shows what the charges are, and it's the same charges that Ronnie Lawson's son has. So how are they going to say it's a completely different person? Yeah, they have a lot of explaining to do. It doesn't even make sense. At the babysitter's house. Yeah, but look at the other listing. Cam, look at the other one. It's now changed. They are now listed as the same birthday. If you go on Tennessee Department of Corrections also, it now has his birthday listed and all the charges. Shows 8/8. You could tell that that's the same. They are both Brandon Lawson. The Brandon Lawson. Nobody else has two different records like that. Here, I guess I could show it real quick again, what I'm talking about. This is something that just changed today around noon Eastern time. And it's switch screen so I can show real quick, and then we'll go over the jaw movements. Okay, so we have a new Brandon here that's not related to what we're talking about, but these two these two right here are the ones I'm talking about, and what people have been talking about for days. Okay, however, today something has changed that makes it look even more suspicious. Okay, this is the regular, you know, what people assumed was Brandon's record, custody record, as it has his photo here. Day of birth, August. ID number starts at 104. Now all of a sudden it says October 29th, 2022, in custody at Grainger County Detention Facility as of October 29th. But then it says book date, October 13th. Okay. Reporting agency, Grainger. Okay. And then it does not have the charges listed on Brandon's, on this one. Okay. Then when you go back to this record right here, also says 43, male, white, Brandon Lewis Lawson. Date of birth is also August. ID number is 0064, and then it's blocked out, but you can go to the Tennessee Department of Corrections and get that number. It's like 5219, I think. And all this matches the Tennessee Department of Corrections, which is obviously really Brandon, because look, November 9th, here it says at about noon Eastern time, it says 10:53 Central time, that he was in custody at the Tennessee Department of Corrections today around 10:53 Central time, and that his supervision type is probation and is active as of November 9th, 2022 at 11:09 Central time. Then down here it says begin date October 14th. Okay, but here's something that's been added. They have the charge details. Oh, looky there. They're all Brandon's charges. What? I thought this was somebody different. I didn't think this was the same Brandon. So what is really going on? Which record do we go by? One says he's in Grainger. One says he's in custody at the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Then says also that he is on probation. And people are getting texts like this stating that he is out of, hold on. Which is just basically, I mean, this comes from VineLink, so it makes sense. People were getting this text today. This would have been, I don't know what time zone this person was that sent me this, but this came from today. Split sentence, I guess, from what I hear. I know I've never seen some, I don't know. I'll have to look into it to see if others say split sentence. I did find that odd too, that Brandon says split sentence. Like, I've never seen that term, but it does sound like it could possibly be like he serves a certain amount in jail and then the other part probation. So it's a split punishment, but that's like basically how everybody's sentence always is. Exactly. But now it's like, it looks like he was released. There's something freaking going on. Something very, very not right. I'm telling, I mean, and I don't know why they would, I mean, the public has already been in outrage. How are they going to do, I mean, what, is this a game? Are they doing this stuff on purpose? They knew people were going to notice this and get, I'm sorry, I was looking at a notification I got. They knew people were going to see this and go nuts and be like, WTF? Nobody else has 2 custody records. And which one's correct? Don't tell me this is not the same person. They can't get away with that now. These 2 are 100% the same person. I mean, this one here, it doesn't have the charges attached, but it has his picture, so we know it's him. Has the birthday, it starts August. Now the number is different because this one's, I'm assuming, a county jail number. And the other number's his Tennessee Department of Corrections number, like if he went to prison. Is he in Grainger? I mean, it's saying location, Grainger County, that he's in custody as of now, October 29th. Like, what the hell? Why does it say October 29th? Like, that's, and then down here it says, this is not normal. Look at other people's records. Then it doesn't show the charges. And then we go to the other listing for the Brandon right here. Once again, a completely different record. They're trying to tell us is somebody different, not the same person. Oh, we're getting him confused. Just happens to have the same charges as Ronnie Lawson's son. These bullshit attempted aggravated sexual batteries that aren't even freaking legitimate charges because that's not what he did. He didn't attempt shit. He did it. That pisses me off so bad. You can't just, every time, I know I sound like a broken record, but you can't drop aggravated sexual battery to attempted. I'm telling you, that's not something that's not done properly. people think, oh, well, they do that all the time. They drop people's charges. Not like that. They don't change it to a completely different crime. That's a completely different crime because this is attempted. Means not committed. So when people go and look up, oh, let's see, what's on Brandon's Lawson's record. And they look it up and they see attempted. That tells somebody that he didn't actually do it, that it was just attempted. But we know better. We know he actually did it. That's why I understand they lower people's charges and stuff and plea deals, but you don't get to change a crime completely. Like if somebody charged with murder, you don't get to say, oh, we're just going to drop it to attempted murder. What? You can't do that. Think about it, guys. Just think about it. I understand what people are saying about charges are dropped in plea deals and stuff. This is not how it's done, though. It would be dropped like as far as how many counts, or they could have lowered it to 1 count each or something, or no, but they didn't want to do that because they knew it was a high felony, and they knew the punishment for even two aggravated sexual batteries, 2 counts. They knew, a year wouldn't have, that's lower than the minimum sentence. So they couldn't get away with it. What I'm guessing is why they put attempted. But we know it's not attempted. He actually freaking did it. How are they going to put in the probable cause or the court document, the victim's statements of saying what happened, and then turn around and say it was attempted? Such bullshit. Gets me heated, man. I also, like I said earlier, I truly believe it started younger than 14. They just happened to agree with 14 because it would be a lesser penalty. I wouldn't be surprised if, she wasn't younger. You can't take a plea deal of attempted aggravated sexual battery. You can't do that, though, is what I understand what people are saying as far as like he took a plea deal. You can't. That's like taking a plea deal for attempted murder when you committed murder. It's not lawfully done. You can't. That's not legal. I'm telling you. Now, a first-degree murder might be dropped to like a second degree, but you don't freaking change it to attempted, is what I'm saying. I promise you, look into it. I need more people looking into this. Please, because I know that it's not. And maybe I'm completely wrong, but from what I talked to somebody I did talk to somebody about this who works in the field, and they were the one that made me aware of this. They were the ones that brought it to my attention that this is not legal or done correct. You can't. So when they brought that to my attention, I started looking into, I'm like, oh, wow, you're right. Just because I do know how the court system works. I do know how, in some ways, obviously in my 20s, I had a couple run-ins. Not anything crazy, but anyways, I know how the process works as far as, plea deals and sometimes they'll drop charges. No, they couldn't do that here. They couldn't just drop a couple of them and just give them 2 aggravated sexual batteries, because it was still the minimum for what is that? What degree felony is that? I'm thinking C. I think it was high. I think it's higher though. Aggravated sexual battery. I think it's higher than that. But let's just say even a C. That's what, minimum 5 years. Oh, this one these have to be C felony because it's probably would have to be a B or an A. If he got charged with just 2 aggravated sexual batteries, charged and convicted, that's what, like a minimum of 10 years per charge. And I think there's probably a requirement of how much time they have to do in prison or jail. There's got to be something. There's got to be a reason why they completely changed this to attempted. And I have a feeling it has to do with the punishment. And also, this is going to give him a loophole in some way, I feel like, in 10 years to have it. Like, how much you want to bet if this is not stopped and it's continued, this corruption, magically 10, 15, 20 years, Brandon Lawson is not going to be on the sex registry probably anymore. Magically, he's probably going to be able to get it just taken off his record. Hey, Kathy. Izzy, I don't know if there's, okay. It does seem like when the judge makes this say is there's nothing that can be done. I was wondering about that too, because, usually you can't be retried for the same crimes. However, there was something else that happened, and I believe it was either Hawkins or it was with here, let me pull it. I think it was Hawkins. It was a police officer. I don't know. They were charged with, their punishment didn't make sense for the crime. And they were a former law enforcement or something. And it was covered up, but they ended up retrying him. They redid his whole trial. And he ended up having to go to do jail time after 5 years. And he'd already been through the court process. So I think there is ways, like if they find out that this was completely done illegally, I think it can probably be tried again. What do you guys think? Because I wish I could remember what case that was I was looking into, and I think it was a DUI. But somebody got hurt. Hasn't have anything to do with Brandon, but it was somebody else, like in a respectable position, who got in trouble, and it kind of was swept under the rug, and and they only got they got some bullshit sentence, and then people threw a fit, and several years later he was retried or something. I'll have to find it. Is there a second degree sexual battery? Well, they could do, they could drop it to sexual battery instead of aggravated, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what lesser charge they could have used instead of, but you can't just just think about it. Doesn't it make sense? Think about it this way. Somebody, and I know I've already said it, but to me, this is how it makes the best sense. If somebody is let's say somebody kills their husband. She's charged with murder. she can't take a plea. They're not able to offer a plea deal for attempted murder because she actually killed the guy. There's no erasing that. Just like Brandon Lawson committed aggravated sexual battery on two, as far as we know, only two so far that we know of, right? We've heard of rumors of more, but anyways, he actually committed aggravated sexual battery. He committed these crimes. We know that because of what the victim stated. So how is it they could go back and be like, oh, we'll just say you did attempted aggravated sexual. You just attempted. Now, if I saw somebody with 4 attempted aggravated sexual battery charges, I wouldn't want them around my daughter, no matter what, even if it's attempted or aggravated sexual battery. But so you know how some people are. They'll see attempt and it'd be like, oh, well, he didn't actually do it. Right. Exactly. He keeps getting bailed out, Deb. And Lori, I mean, the best thing that happened to me. I remember being so mad at my parents because they wouldn't freaking help me during, when I got myself into issues when I was partying. And if they would have enabled me, I would have never, I would have never changed. Why change something that works? You don't have to change something if everything's going okay. If you're going to get bailed out every time, there's no desire to change if there's no negative consequences. Lawson's made his offer plea by information, which means he hadn't been indicted or formally charged at the time, which is why official charge is attempted. He hadn't been indicted or formally charged at that time. So he was never actually charged. I swear, though, that he was charged with aggravated sexual battery. I swear I've seen those. I've seen the documents where he was charged with aggravated sexual battery at one time, and they changed it. There is definitely documents out there where it shows him being charged with aggravated sexual battery. I think they're trying to backpedal and say, oh, it was a mistake. A weapon? I don't know about a weapon. Yeah, and then Smoky Blue Days, we might not even have to worry about if this could be recharged or not, because I have a feeling there's going to be more people that come forward and, eventually Daddy's not going to be able to protect his full-grown son. Nepotism. I keep seeing people. Nepotism. I keep seeing people. That's got to be like some kind of. I remember going over that when I had a worldview class. Worldview college class. Nepotism. Practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. Okay, that's not something I have studied before. Nepotism is an advantage, privilege, or entitlement that is granted to relatives and friends in an occupation or field. These fields may include, but are not limited to, business, politics, academia, academics, we'll say, entertainment, sports, fitness, religion, and other activities. Well, they left out the big one, law enforcement. Unless they want to put, unless they want to group that in with politics. It is all about legal loopholes, I believe. What did you just do? Yeah. Uh-huh. I do believe that there's some legal loopholes that they have basically prepared themselves to, in case. Just in case, I do believe, yeah, I agree. There's some things that we probably haven't even found yet in ways that they're going to be able to, wiggle their way out of this one. I mean, they prepared for this for a year, from what I hear. A year. Ronnie Lawson knew. Allegedly. A year. That should freaking outrage people. Think about, those of you who have family members or yourself once, had a period of your life where you maybe were not the best person and you were, you know how court system works. Were any of you guys or any of your family members or friends, were any of them awarded, or were they given the opportunity to the same privilege to know about these charges that are going to be coming out in a year? And so conveniently get withheld from the public and everybody else? Nobody else gets that privilege. How come Brandon Lawson got that? It gets me going, because I understand life is not fair, but when it comes to, that's the whole point of our justice system, is balance and fairness. It's supposed to bring the victim back to whole. This is not justice. It's bullshit. Nobody else gets that freaking privilege of knowing about, giving a heads up, and, gets to arrange what jail they go to and how many counts they are going to get charged with and how we're going to do this. And they refuse to give information. I don't know, Marlene. People got text messages stating that he was released today around noon Eastern time on probation. But other people are saying, I mean, but there's also a record stating he's in Grainger County. So it's like, which is it? They're doing it to cover their ass so they can be like, oh, it was a mistake. Oh, it was an accident. What I want to know is how come there's so many people covering this? Like, how is that possible? Like, so many people covering up for this situation. The only thing that makes sense is they're covering it because it benefits them in some way. Either they're getting paid, they're getting some kind of, or they're in on it as far as they're part of whatever is going on in law enforcement in Eastern Tennessee. Not just law enforcement, but people in the courts, justice system. They're all entangled in this, what looks to be some kind of trafficking ring, allegedly. But I don't, like I said, that's where I'm going, but like in my head, but at the same time, I'm like, but if that's going on, then why would they? I mean, I feel like all this stuff that they're putting in the system about Brandon, you would think that would bring more attention to Brandon. And so I don't know what they're doing. It almost feels like a game. It is multi-generational. And it keeps going on. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep going and going and going until somebody with some balls actually, and some influence, actually puts their foot down and being like, this is not okay. I think Cecil Mills is probably, like I said, I felt like he would have been the best to come forward. And if he didn't, and I don't know, but maybe he is involved. I mean, he's the attorney, he's the prosecutor that signed the documents, right? Dan Armstrong, though, says when you're talking to Cecil, you're talking to him. Without justice, our court systems, so often we will return to the wild west and protect or revenge ourselves. Yeah, exactly. What do they call that? Like military, or what's it called when we have to basically fend for ourselves? And gosh, can you imagine? It happens everywhere. It happens all the time. And, you know, that's what. Guessing YouTubers aren't going to stop investigating. That scares them. Great. Right? I mean, I was really on the roll there for a while. I'm glad I spoke out when I did, and I'm glad there's others that are also speaking on it, because I got just, had some things happen, and I don't know if I'll be able to get myself back to that point I was, because now, I mean, it was so difficult to keep my thoughts straight and keep everything organized with everything I was finding. But now it's been like, now that I've had over a week away from research because of Jim's passing, I'm I feel really behind, and I don't know even where to begin because it was so complicated. There's so many, it's like a spider web is like the best way to explain it. They're all working together, all webbed together, and all know each other, and all are in on it. Well, I don't know. Smiley's calling these people. I'm not brave as far as like calling these people, and Smiley and Benny and Fizzle. Even though I would probably, there's some things I would do differently than but they have I don't know. I just don't have it in me. Now I could, if I could see myself going up and like talking to one of these people one-on-one, but not over the phone, because I don't even know. Oh, thank you, Roswell. Well, I'm hoping I can get back to it. I'm hoping I am going to get off here in a second, maybe be back like later. Cause like I said, I'm going to try to go live a couple times a day, but not as long as times. I don't know. Now I've been on here for 2.5 hours though already, but which is nothing compared to what I used to do. Hey, Nana. We were watching a little bit of your video earlier. Did Smiley? Yeah, I heard Smiley made a call, and basically they're saying that he's in Grainger or something. Smiley, see, I think it's great that she does this, and she's able to, the way she talks to, she's able to stay like respectful. You get more bees with honey, right? First call after hearing to Grainger today. I'm sorry. Here, we'll listen to a little bit of it, but I do need to go. And I'll share the link to Smiley's story so that you guys can finish listening to it. I don't want to play her whole video, but I am curious to see. Let's see here.
I want to talk to you. Talk to because he can. Hold on, I don't want to talk.
What the hell?
I'm going to let you talk with the sheriff, honey. Hold on. Hold on, I don't want to talk to the sheriff. I want to talk to you. Of course you don't want to talk to him because he tells you like it is. Hold on. No, bitch, he didn't tell me like it is. I want to talk to you for a minute.
Oh my God. Well, I might have spoke too soon about talking to him respectfully. I don't know what happened though. She probably has her reasons. She's like, no, bitch, I want to talk to you. Whoa, what even happened? I guess I missed out. Let's go to I didn't play the whole thing, but.
Y'all, I'm just so.
Yes, do y'all have a Brandon Lawson? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Do you have a Brandon Lawson? Yes, I do. You do? Well, it's funny that they say he was paroled out today. going to let you talk with the sheriff, honey. Hold on. Hold on. I don't want to talk to the sheriff. I want to talk to you. Of course you don't want to talk to him because he tells you like it is. Hold on. No, bitch. He didn't tell me like it is. I want to talk to you for a minute. Yes, I want to know why Brandon Lawson was bonded out. Can I hear you, honey? Yes, ma'am. Can you tell me why Brandon Lawson was released out today? He got why was Brandon Lawson getting paroled today? Just 1 second. Did you hear her? Did you get it?
They just keep transferring. That's what people do. Like, just transfer. Don't want to deal with it. Transfer. Yeah, has anybody called his probation officer? Smiley, if you're here, have you called his probation officer? That's who really needs to be called. That Bruce Brutus. The phone number's right here. It's right on the Vine link.
Please bring me up.
Man, they were just hoping she'd go away, huh?
Hold on. Maybe I need to use my honey. Hold on. Oh, God.
Wait, hold on. What happened?
Hold on. Hold on. Maybe I need to use my honey. Hold on. Oh, God. I'm sick at my stomach.
Weekends in jail?
Sure.
Yeah, that could be possible.
Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm going to apologize. I need to ask you a question. This ain't about Brandon. Well, I will get to Brandon, but I want to ask you a question. I'm going to try to be nice. I do need to get to the bottom of something else. Okay. All right. Can I ask you this? Because I'm sick at my stomach. I'm tired of babysitting Brandon. Okay. Chris and James Harville. Okay. Are they related? Yes. What part? How are they related? Can I ask you that? Why do you want to know that? Oh my God, I just want to know. Can you please just answer me? I'm being nice. They're brothers? They are, okay. Yes. What part? How are at the bottom of something else? Okay. All right. Can I ask you this?
Sorry, I wanted to hear.
Okay. Chris and James Harville. Okay, are they related? Yes. What part? How are they related? Can I ask you that? Why do you want to know that? Oh my God, I just want to know. Can you please just answer me? I'm being nice. They're brothers? They are, okay, because I know Lee's son and they're too close in age. Okay, thank you for that information. Okay, what else do you need? Okay, I'm not
what else do you need?
To be hateful to you. I promise to God I'm not. Now, I'm not, and I apologize for calling you a liar the other day, okay? I apologize that. Now, I know you're in between a rock and a hard place. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, what is it you need? Okay.
She's like, okay.
Now, I'm not saying, listen, today I don't even know if you know what's going on, so I won't even go there. And if I have to speak to the sheriff, I will. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to calm down. I was in the car a while ago, and I'm just really nauseated at my stomach at this whole situation. So I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying not to call back up there no more because I don't want to bother y'all. I don't even want to babysit Brandon no more. This is just ridiculous. Okay. Why are you babysitting Brandon? Okay. It's just a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to calm down. Okay, what I want to know is, I got a cigarette now. I'm calming. I'm trying to calm down. What I want to know is, I'm getting fresh air. Like I said, I shouldn't have took it out on you. So I don't even know if you know what's going on. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying like the other day, violate this and violate that, and this, that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything about violate. What I am saying is, the news is, he has literally paroled out of your jail today. Today. Maybe you don't know that, and I don't, so please, I'm just telling you. That's what I'm saying. He has full parole today. He's paroled out. He's out.
Well, probation, not parole.
That's all I wanted to verify with you. That's just an answer, no answer. That's just yes. No, he's not paroled out. He's here.
See, I think what is going on, I kind of do wonder now if they're trying to get if it is possible about the weekends thing. Let's see. Today is Wednesday, though. Why would it show up, though, him in custody? That's the thing that doesn't make sense. It's like today's not a weekend. Yeah, that's what they're hoping. Nicely done. They're hoping everybody gets confused. That's the whole point. They have two listings on. They have Brandon Lawson twice on VineLink. The same person. With both of the listings saying basically like two different things. Both of them basically saying, oh, he's in custody, but on probation. And it doesn't make sense. It's all a way to confuse, and it's to save their ass. They could be like, oh, no matter, so they don't know, because they don't, just no matter which way it goes, they have it, they're prepared. They have a backup to say, an excuse. But it has to date. No, it put today's date nicely. It doesn't take 24 hours to update. I mean, they say it can take, but it's instant. We've seen that many times happen. Well, but if it takes a couple days to update, they still have the correct date and time on it. Dinner at mom's release. Yeah, it could be work release. They could be giving him work release. But the problem with work release is he doesn't qualify for work release. Hold on. I'm pretty sure for work release, you don't get work release if you are just spending a few months in jail. I don't know. Let me look. Work release requirements in Tennessee. All counties except Shelby County are authorized to permit certain prisoners to leave the workhouse or jail during reasonable and necessary hours for occupational, scholastic, or medical purposes as provided in TCA 41-2-127 and 41-2-132. Shelby County is okay, well, we don't care. Okay, Shelby County is required to permit certain prisoners to leave the workhouse or jail during reasonable and necessary hours for occupational, scholastic, or medical purposes as provided. Okay, and they just put. Okay, why that doesn't make sense. felony prisoners. Let me look at it quick. He's a felony. Prisoners serving a felony sentence in the county workhouse may be allowed to leave the county workhouse during necessary and reasonable hours for occupational, scholastic, or medical purposes. Any individual serving a felony sentence based on a crime against person or property who has a previous sentence defined as a felony against person or property as defined by the laws of the state of Tennessee or any other state of the United States or by the criminal statutes of the United States shall not be eligible to apply for release from the county workhouse for occupational, scholastic, or medical purposes. So wait, hold on. Let me pull this up so you guys can see. I don't. Okay, Tennessee. Switch screens. I'm trying to find that. Yeah, this is the right one I was just on. And this is a .edu site, so it's a scholarly source. So I went down here. Okay, this is about work release. Let's see. Let me see what the document says. Let's go to this document, actually. Okay, felony prisoners. Prisoners serving a felony sentence in the county workhouse may be, okay. Any individual serving a felony sentence based on a crime against person or property who has a previous sentence defined as a felony against person or property as defined by the laws of the state of Tennessee or any other state of the United States or by criminal statutes of the United States shall not be eligible to apply for a release. Okay, so since he's considered first-time offender, that doesn't disqualify him. But let's see what else. I would think sex crimes wouldn't be allowed, but wow. Look at this one right here. Alternative work release procedures. As an alternative to the procedures described in TCA 41-2-129, subsections A, B, and C, the sentencing court may place a prisoner on work release subject to the terms and conditions that the sheriff and the sentencing court may agree upon. Wow. 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 Okay. That's kind of like, so they're allowed to come up with these deals if the sheriff and the sentencing court agree upon it. But I want to know, okay, so what's the laws on how transparent this has to be? Both victims entered victim impact statements into the court record. Now I assume that means they made statements in person. Oh, really? They have a work release program in Johnson City, Tennessee for nonviolent crimes. When they did have him listed as a violent offender, but now he's not because it's attempted, which is bullshit. He's a violent offender. He should have been charged with aggravated sexual battery. Even if he was charged with just plain old sexual battery, isn't that a violent crime? It's bullshit that he doesn't get to, or that he doesn't have to be considered a violent offender because of some bullshit illegal shit going on, charging him with attempted. Like, attempted seems to me like if you're trying something like that, you're violent. What's the...
And then, like then they're saying nobody believed us anyway. So
I need the cover up. What would be the cover?
Where the hell is that coming from?
Drew. No, that's all right. Go ahead.
I don't know where that. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I just had a question.
Gosh, that was loud. If it's given a year, he will possibly only pull 30% of the year. Yeah, somebody has to be witnessing employment of prisoners in another county. Employment of prisoners in another county. Oh, so like Brandon Lawson, he can have a, be released on work release in Hawkins County, probably hangs out at his daddy's house. Because it says the County Board of Workhouse Commissioners or the county legislative body. Okay, so the County Board of Workhouse Commissioners or the county legislative body if there's no county board of the Workhouse Commissioners. So this means that city commissioner, like that we were watching, all those people who are on the board of that need investigated. And let me tell you, several of them are very, very sus, like Jim Sells and Newton. So, or whatever his freaking name is, from the Rogersville police chief, or whatever his name is. Starts with an N. Exactly. It does sound like an oxymoron because it's not a freaking thing. Aggravated, attempted. How can you... what the hell? So, may by order authorize the superintendent of the workhouse to arrange with another superintendent for employment of the prisoner in the other's county, and while so employed to be in the other's custody, but in other respects to be and continue subject to the commitment. Likewise, the county legislative body may authorize the sheriff to arrange with the sheriff of another county in the case of jail prisoners, for employment of any such prisoner in the other's county to be in such sheriff's custody while so employed, but in all other respects to be in continued subject to the commitment. So basically, yeah, two sheriffs can agree. Well, the legislative body, so the commission, who are all freaking law enforcement, and like all the members are like law enforcement and important people in the community who would have a self-serving benefits to going along with what Ronnie Lawson or some of these other guys are trying to put out there. No, sugar and spice, it's wrong. That's wrong. They all do have attempted, but it's still wrong. I'm telling you. I promise you. Yes, every charge does. I'm standing up. Every charge, you're right as far as, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that's not correct information if he said that. Now, that guy was really cool and stuff. Yes, every charge can have, for every charge there is a counterpart, a lower charge of attempted, but it's a different crime. You can't freaking get charged attempted when you do the crime. Do you think somebody can murder somebody and then have you ever seen somebody murder somebody and then somebody get charged with attempted murder? What the fuck? That's not a thing. That doesn't happen. Please show me where you can get charged with attempted. Show me other examples. We need to be finding other examples is what we need to look for. Is where somebody like attempted robbery or that'd be like saying dropping a burglary to attempted burglary. It's not a thing. They're trying to confuse people because, oh, well, he took a plea. It's a lesser charge. He took a plea. No, that's not how it freaking works. I mean, yes, you can plea down, but you don't get to just plea to some other crime. You can plea down to, I mean, that doesn't have, I'm telling you. I know this to be correct or allegedly correct, because I wasn't even the one that even came up with it. I was a lady or somebody I spoke to who works in the system very close to the situation. He's on house arrest? Yeah, that's what I figured. He's on house arrest, probably at his dad's. Through an aggravator for good measure. No, if anybody can find, yeah, send it to me. Email me. I'm serious. If you can find similar cases, I'm sure there's some out there. I'm guessing, I'm sure you can find it, but find where anybody's been charged, where that's a thing, where somebody's charges get changed to attempted. Instead of like where it gets dropped. See if anybody comes across anything like that where they can please send it to me. Please. Because I want to if I'm wrong, I know I'm not wrong about this one. I'm sorry. I just really do know I'm not wrong about this one. You can't just it doesn't even make sense if you really think about it. But at first I didn't notice it. I wasn't but somebody pointed it out to me and I was like, oh my God, you're right. And they explained it to me. And they have an education and background in law. So that's why I trusted what they were saying. And then I was like, and then it just made sense. Like after I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? You're right. I mean, just replace it with any other type of crime. Like I've never heard somebody get like, yes, you can be charged with like attempted, like anything, attempted burglary, robbery, anything, attempted murder. And it's a lower charge, but it's not the lesser charge that's like a term they use in freaking law. They could, but yeah, there's other things they could have lowered it to, but attempted is not one of them. Like I said, my guess is they were given no other choice because they were obviously trying to make it so he doesn't go in or doesn't have to spend any time in jail, and there's certain minimum sentences that have to be enforced for certain crimes. That's a mandatory. If you're convicted of it, so we really need to look into, well, what is actually the lower crime of if aggravated sexual battery was to be lowered in a plea deal, what would it usually get lowered to? Just sexual battery? And then if let's say it's sexual battery. Okay, so what's the punishment for sexual battery? What's the minimum, punishment? It will probably, when we look into that, it will probably explain a lot. Because what I'm guessing is the minimum punishment would, he would be forced to go to prison or something. They needed to get it dropped to a C felony. The article says that they were sober and it was an avoidable accident due to weather, so the DA took it to a grand jury and told them they were all sober. Yeah, it's such bullshit. Anyways, guys, actually, I shouldn't say I'll be back later, but I'm going to get off here and get some other things done. I'm going to watch see who else is on here. Like, seriously, I mean it. Like, if anybody finds anything, actually, I'm going to be looking to that myself. Other cases where somebody's charge was dropped to attempted. Now, it has to be a drop, like during a plea. It has to be exactly, the circumstance has to be the same. Not like where they are initially charged with attempted. Because they've already put out there that he was charged with aggravated sexual battery and that it was dropped or that it was changed to attempted. So they can't go back and say, oh, he was never charged with aggravated sexual battery, because yes, he was. And there's people who have proof of it. Exactly. What happened to protecting children? No, he's not a first-time offender. He's that's probably another. of speaking for other people. I find a major problem speaking for the victims. Like that is, yeah. Exactly. All right. I might see you guys later, okay? Everybody have a good dinner, a good evening. And I'll definitely be on tomorrow, if not tonight. Truth and due process defendants can take advantage of the ability to use Alfred by admitting there is enough evidence to convict him of a higher crime while at the same time pleading to a lesser charge. But that's not a lesser charge. That's the thing. Look up the definition of lesser charge. Hold on, I'll do that. I'm going to write that down. That's something I've been looking into. I mean, yeah, you would say there's some type of wording, like there's some type of term in like lesser charge or lesser, I forget. It's, I mean, obviously attempted to lesser crime, but there's something with the lesser, there is an actual term used in the court system, and there's a definition of lesser. I don't know. I have to look it up. I've been meaning to. Like there's certain lower, like for like murder, like there'd be first degree, second degree, you know, a lesser charge to murder. Yeah, I mean, attempted is like lower in as far as how severe it is, but I don't know. I need to look into the definition of lesser charge. I think there's like something weird with that. You saw a particular homicide get played down to reckless driving and a DUI? Get played down? Who is it? Like where they were originally charged with homicide? They were originally charged with murder and then it got changed to a reckless driving and DUI? I know, but it's not, Marlena, it wasn't correct. People keep saying that, but it's not true. People keep saying that. It's like, that's what I'm trying to get to people. People aren't understanding. They keep saying, oh, just go to, no, that's not, he's not, that does not, listen to him answer the questions. Yeah, he seems very forthright and honest and stuff, but he does dance around some of the, he's just answering like what he, I listened to his explanation. Okay. He just called it a lesser, that it was incorrect. You cannot, I'm telling you. Go, that's why we need to, I want to find proof of where somebody's been charged with these crimes and it just changed to a new crime. Vehicular homicide. Well, yeah, I mean, but that's reckless driving, though. It makes sense. Attempted. Okay, think about it. Okay, vehicular homicide. Okay, if you're going to lower that to a crime, lower crime, you're saying he got charged with reckless, or what was it? Let me look here. Reckless driving. Okay. So you think you're saying there was a case of that you knew of somebody who was charged with vehicular homicide and that got changed to reckless driving and DUI? See, but that makes sense though. I mean, it's not right because somebody died, but I'm guessing it was a reckless driving which resulted in the death of somebody, or, I mean, okay, how do I explain this or what I'm trying to say? Because I know, like, many of you guys are way more intelligent than me. So if I could just, like, explain what I'm trying to say, like, and I'm not good at explaining things, like, because I do get what you guys are saying, but think about it. Okay, if somebody gets charged with vehicular homicide and it got lowered to a reckless driving and DUI. If you looked up reckless driving and DUI, would it fit the crime? It does, right? It still fits the crime. I mean, he was driving recklessly. Okay. Now look at somebody charged with aggravated sexual battery. And their charges getting lowered to attempted aggravated sexual battery. When you look up attempted aggravated sexual battery, does what is written in the Tennessee Code, does it make sense for the crime that was committed? Not to me, because he actually did it. You see what I'm saying? That person, the reckless driving and DUI, those are still correct charges. I mean, he was reckless driving. He did have a DUI, right? He was, I'm assuming. But Brandon, he did not attempt. He committed. He actually did the aggravated sexual battery. It's still, like, the crime that was committed still has to match. Like, it still has to make sense. You can't just go commit a murder and take a plea deal for theft. Attempting to have unlawful sexual contact since 1 year. No, I'm glad you gave me that example because it's a good one. I like that example because it gives me that, it helps me explain what I'm trying to say. And I'm not saying like anybody's stupid or anything, because you guys, I'm not trying to be a know-it-all or anything, because I'm having just a hard time explaining it. Because I agree. I mean, I thought like you guys at first too. I mean, I didn't think anything of it. They're hoping nobody pays attention. People's charges get lowered all the time. So it's very common. It happens pretty much like 100% of the times, it seems like. So nobody really pays attention. And that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping people don't really notice how they just did a whole switcheroo. Like, it was, how can you can't plead to something like that. You can't, that's not the crime committed. That's an Alford plea is like, you're saying they have enough evidence so I'll look more into Alford plea, because I saw somebody's definition on there, and maybe it has something, but I didn't know the Alford plea had anything to do with like being able to get a completely different sentence. But it's not a lower level of sex battery, though. It's not a lower level of sex battery. A lower level would have been sexual battery. That's the lower level. Under that, I don't know what else you could do. Like, there's other, I'm sure, small or other crimes that maybe even lower to sexual battery that would still make sense for what he did, but just, I don't know, the crime's not as, or this penalty is not as severe, but I don't know. I can't think of what else would be lower than sexual battery. Anyways, attempted sexual battery or attempted aggravated sexual battery is not sexual battery. It's a whole different, that's not in the same category. That's under the attempted. Attempted aggravated sexual battery would be attempted sexual battery. Because aggravated is like aggravating circumstances. That raises the penalty, that raises the severity of the crime. Usually that means like aggravated means the victim was, handicapped or was, there's different things that make it aggravated. The age, all kinds of different things that can make it aggravated, which raises the penalty. So if they were wanting to lower that, and you don't just change it to attempted, you drop it to just regular sexual battery. All right, anybody could take an Alford plea, which is weird. It's another weird thing. If you look into this, or when you start looking into all this, you'll start noticing all the Alford pleas of people in power. I was like, I never had heard of Alford plea before, so. Yeah, and it's supposed to, our justice system's supposed to be transparent anyways. It was done all, I would love to see a similar case. Now I'm probably gonna be researching all night to see what I could find with this attempted thing. Because I just don't get it. My mind can't make sense of it. I know some of you guys are, but I think that's like, they're hoping to confuse us. Like, how can somebody for instance, be charged with robbery? And then they say, oh, if you take the steal, we'll just change it and we'll say you didn't rob the place. We'll just put attempted. That's like a huge difference. That's not, attempting and actually committing the act is a huge difference. Wouldn't you like to know that if you were an employer or whatever? I mean, they're both bad, but I've never heard of somebody who's actually robbed a place whose charges get changed to attempted. See what I mean? How that does not make sense? I think many of you guys understand what I'm saying, but like I do get why it's confusing, because think they were legally allowed to change it to attempted. Whether or not they could drop the aggravated legally, I don't know, but because that's a good thing or a good point to. You would think that you would have to make the public aware that the victim was a minor. You would think that's something that would have to be put out there. So I don't know if aggravated is something in that circumstance that can be dropped or not. But see, like I feel the same way about the attempted. I don't think that's how I feel about the attempted. You can't just change it, the crime. It does set a terrible precedent because now don't think there's not going to be any weirdos that don't use this or any lawyer that hasn't got this, like, you know, on the back burner for like in one of their, or how, don't think any lawyers aren't putting this in their toolbox of tricks for defense because they are going to use this. Let's see. Age 19, had sex with, he pleaded. Okay, did they charge him, though, originally with aggravated sexual battery? Here, let me look up this guy. Trevin Barkus. And that's Tennessee. Okay. I'm going to read into this and see. I'll probably have to. Trying to find, it looks like he got in trouble again after his original, so now I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to find the original. Like if he was originally charged with sexual battery. Minors in this case, 4 acts, 2018, 2020. He got way worse, Marlene. No, they don't put enough fear in the predators at all. Okay, I am very interested in looking into this this person, Trevon Barkus. So I'm gonna look into this. Said at age. Trying to, I'm probably gonna have to. I was gonna read it with you guys, but I'm trying to find exactly. At the age of 19, Trevon Barkus had sex with a 12-year-old girl. He pleaded guilty to attempted aggravated sexual battery. Because of this conviction, Barkus spent 3 years in prison. Is subject to community supervision for life under Tennessee law and is required to register as a sex offender. So this guy, he was 19, had sex with a 12-year-old. Of course, that's younger than 14, so it's going to be a higher crime. But he pled guilty to attempted aggravated sexual battery. So I need to see the original documents though. Was he, I mean, surely he was charged with I'm gonna look into, yeah, I'm curious. Thanks for letting me know about that case, because I want to know what is normal and what's not. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys can, I mean, if it's normal for these type of crimes to get get dropped to complete, like attempted, then we can mark that off the list of susness. But like this guy, he got, let me pull up that document one more time. He got 3 years. For pleading guilty to attempted aggravated sexual battery. He spent 3 years in prison, is subject to community supervision for life, and is required to register as a sex offender under SORNA. Then, when he got out of prison, he had to be on an ankle monitor. This guy had one charge of that. Of course, he got out and reoffended. The district court incorrectly. Oh, okay. It says the district court incorrectly classified Barkus as a tier 3 sex offender because his qualifying state conviction, Tennessee attempted aggravated sexual battery against a victim less than 13 years of age, is broader than the comparable offense under SORNA. The comparable federal offense requires Barkus to have acted with intent. The Tennessee offense did not, or does not. Because Barkus failed to object to his classification below, we review for plain error. United States versus Gardner, incorrectly classifying a defendant as a tier 3 sex offender is plain error. They're referencing these cases: United States versus Stock, United States versus Gardner. Finding plain error where the district court erroneously applied a 2-point enhancement that raised the defendant's adjusted offense level. The defendant may be, or a defendant may be classified as a tier 3 sex offender under SORNA if the defendant has a state law conviction that is the same or comparable to a specified federal offense. That is, a tier 3 sex offender is a person convicted of a felony that criminalizes the same conduct as or is comparable to aggravated sexual abuse or sexual abuse, as defined in 2241 and 2242, or abusive sexual contact against someone under 13. To answer whether Tennessee aggravated sexual battery is a tier 3 sex offense, we join other circuits, blah, blah, blah. If the elements of the Tennessee aggravated sexual battery statute are the same as the tier 3 requirements or are defined more narrowly, then the Tennessee conviction is classified as a tier 3 offense. Tennessee aggravated sexual battery is unlawful sexual contact with a victim by the defendant or the defendant by a victim if, as related or as relevant to the case, the victim is less than 13 years of age. Tennessee offense arguably defines multiple crimes, but unlawful sexual contact is an element of all of those variations. So we don't need to make this analysis even more complicated by applying the modified categorical approach. Sexual contact, okay, is intentional touching. If that intentional touching can be reasonably construed as being for the purpose of sexual arousal or gratification. Sorry, I'm trying to see here how they're gonna. It looks like we're dealing with a similar thing with that we've been dealing with Brandon and these supposed mistakes in the system because of this whole attempted thing change. So I'm glad that somebody gave me this case, because this is definitely, this is the type of case that I want people to send me if you can find, because this does sound very similar. District court correctly applied. Because the district court plainly erred when it classified Barkus as a Tier 3 sex offender, we vacate Barkus's sentence and remand for resentencing consistent with this opinion. And in a last Hail Mary, Barkus argues that because he is already required to undergo a mental health treatment, additional sex offender specific conditions, including a polygraph, constitute a greater deprivation of liberty than is reasonably necessary. The district court imposes special supervised release conditions to provide the defendant with the needed medical care or other correctional treatment in the most effective manner. Barkus does not show that the additional conditions reduce the efficacy of his mental health treatment or that his proposal is the most effective. The crux of his argument is that the additional conditions are repetitive, but in light of Barkus's admission that he needs mental health treatment, the district court did not make a clear error of judgment by imposing additional sex offender treatment. For these reasons, the district court did not abuse its discretion by requiring Barkus to undergo sex offender treatment with a psychosexual. Wow. I mean, dang. Hopefully, are they going to require this stuff of Brandon? Who is this Barkus guy? Is he somebody famous or something? Is this because... Cool. Yeah. Thanks for Marlene, if you find anything, because if I'm wrong about the attempted thing, I want to know, because I don't understand how they can. I mean, that was something that was brought to me from somebody I really trust their opinion. So, and it sounds logical from my experience with the court system and what I've learned over, you know, just, I'm not an expert, but I've been wrong before and I'll be wrong again. Either way, though, that still doesn't exclude Brandon Lawson from, or in this situation, from total corruption. It's obvious. That's just one thing. The change from, you know, aggravated sexual assault or battery, whatever, to attempted is just one thing that looks odd. There is so many more. What county is Brandon registering for RSO? It looks like, I don't know. His probation officer is out of Johnson City. But I don't know what county that would be. Not Sullivan. Not Hawkins, is it? Oh, yeah, they're probably trying to say he's going to a treatment program when he's really going to his dad's house. Johnson County. Okay, I thought you put Johnson City as Johnson City. Okay, so it's Johnson County. It's Washington County. Yeah, I think that, didn't we look up and see, or didn't somebody look up and say that Johnson City is actually like at the corner of 4 different counties or something? It's like part of the town's in one county and part of it's in another, so that makes everything more difficult. So if you can't find anything for Johnson County, I would check Washington County. Yeah, of course it has to be difficult, but anyways, guys, I'm going to go. I've been talking about going for the last hour. I want to look into this person that somebody that you guys suggested, this case that looks kind of similar. Because it looks, I want to see the circumstances surrounding it. Because that's important. Also, if you find anything on the subject, I don't know what to even Google to really even look into this. Well, lesser charge. Lesser. I need to. Johnson City is Washington County. He must register where he lives currently. Oh, okay, you're right. So whatever county that address on Madeline, it's on Madeline. Whatever county that's in, the 112 Madeline or whatever. Hey, Chabster. They should be protesting outside his jail. No, he supposedly doesn't have any prior convictions, but, you know, who's to say that's even true? They wiped the internet. Try looking up anything about him. They completely wiped the internet. You can't even, I mean, it's absolutely obvious. None of us get the opportunity to completely wipe the internet before any of our charges go out to public. Okay, guys. Maybe be on later. Definitely tomorrow. So I will talk to you guys soon. Have a nice evening. I just have to end it because I'll just keep talking. Talk to you later.